This is a little more of an in-depth look at Tifa Martial Artist. She's got melee. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power 7 or greater deal combat damage to a player, untap all creatures you control. If it's the first combat phase of the turn, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. So we're going to go for multiple combat steps, hopefully, and overpower the opponent with brute strength. So for starters, we've got some equipment. Well, one's an enchantment that turns into an equipment. We got side quest, play Blitzball. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 till end of turn. So we're going to try to bring those power levels up above 7. At the end of combat on your turn, if a player was dealt 6 or more combat damage this turn, transform this enchantment, attach it to a creature you control. So then we got the World Champion, Celestial Weapon. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has double strike. So we're definitely going for that. Double strike is nice. We've got Excalibur 2. Whenever you gain life, put a charge counter on Excalibur 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on it. So there is some life gain in here, so we'll be building that up a little bit. We've got Magitech Scythe. When this equipment enters, you may attach it to target creature you control. If you do, that creature gains first strike until end of turn and must block this turn. Really, we have it for the equipped creature gets +2/+1. We want to buff those creatures up, get them to a power of 7 or more. We've got Lionheart. When this equipment enters, it deals 2 damage to any target, so we might have a little removal for a small creature. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. We've got Ultima Weapon. Whenever equipped creature attacks, destroy target creature an opponent controls, so we got some removal there. Equipped creature gets +7/+7, so we've achieved our goal, but it is kind of costly for 7, and the equip is 7. We've got Wrecking Ball Arm. Equipped creature has base power and toughness of 7/7 and can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So this is going to be very helpful in the deck. We've got Etir and Prywin. Equipped creature has base power and toughness of XX, where X is your life total. If we gain some life and we keep our life total high, this will keep our creature we equip with it above that 7 power. And Conformer Shuriken. This is very nice against another large creature. Equipped creature has, whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. If that creature has greater power than this creature, put a number of +1/+1 counters on this creature equal to the difference. So this could be very nice to tap down a huge creature somebody else has and buff your creature up. Some other ways to buff creatures. We have Summon the Magus Sisters. So it's a little random. You choose one at random. 3 times randomness will happen. So put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature. That'll be nice for us. Put a shield counter on target creature. That could be nice as well. Really, you can't go wrong with any of them, but the +1 counters are nice to get that power level above. Or it can fight, and this creature fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. So a bit of removal. Nice all around, though. You got Torgal, a Fine Hound. Whenever you cast your first human creature spell this turn, that creature enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each dog and or wolf you control. So quite a few humans. If you have Torgal, you're guaranteed at least 1 +1 counter. Then you can tap him to add 1 mana of any color. We've got a Sphere Grid. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. And creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have reach and trample. So another way to get damage through, and another way to buff up your creatures. We've got the Earth Crystal. Green spells you cast cost 1 less. If 1 or more +1 counters would be put on a creature you control, twice that many +1 counters are put on the creature instead. Also, you can pay 4 and 2 green to tap it to distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures you control. And because it's in play, you'd be doubling that. We've got Aerith Gainsborough. She's got lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on Aerith. When Aerith dies, put X +1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of +1 counters on Aerith. So she's very good at buffing herself, and if she dies, she can buff the rest of your legendaries, which there are quite a few of, especially in Final Fantasy. We've got Yuna's Whistle. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. When you reveal a creature card this way, put a +1/+1 or X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the mana value of that card. So again, a way to buff up a creature. We have Tifa's Limit Break. So it's 1 green, but if you pay 0 on top of that, because it's tiered, target creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn. If you decide to pay 2 extra, you double target creature's power and toughness till end of turn. And if you pay 6 and a green on top of the green, you triple target creature's power and toughness till end of turn. So, again, we have ways to bring it up. I put this card here just as an example. We've got Summon GF Cerberus. It's got Survey 1, but then it goes to when you next cast your instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it, and then you can copy it twice with the 3rd saga. So it'll help out cards like Yuna's Whistle, Tifa's Limit Break, and a few other of the instants or sorceries in this deck. Just get more value out of them. We've got Renoa Heartilly. When she enters, create Angelo, a legendary 1/1 green and white dog creature token. Whenever Renoa attacks, another target creature you control gets +1/+1 till end of turn for each creature you control. Again, boosting at least 1 creature, so it's above 7. We got Vinette. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, draw a card, so we got some card draw there. It only happens once each turn. If you pay 7, tap it, you exile it and bring it back. And changes into the Mother Crystal. Has Indestructible. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. Until the end of your next turn, it gains Indestructible. If that creature is legendary, draw a card. So, plenty of benefits and buffing. We got Serapharin. First legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more legendary creatures, you may transform her. When she becomes crystallized, the first legendary creature spell you cast each turn is 2 less still. But legendary creatures you control get +2/+2. Again, most of them are legendary because they're all from Final Fantasy. And then we've got Cat Sith, Fortune Teller. At the beginning of combat on your turn, scry 1, then exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a card this way, target creature you control gets +X/+0 till end of turn, where X is that card's mana value. So again, buffing a creature up, we're getting it past that 7 power and going for, hopefully, damage and extra combat steps. Now we're coming to some of the other creatures in here and whatnot. We've got Vincent, Vengeful Atoner. It's got Menace. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on Vincent. So hopefully you can start building him up and getting him above that 7. Whenever Vincent deals combat damage to an opponent, It deals that much damage to each other opponent if Vincent's power is 7 or greater. So we can equip him, do other things, get his power above that, and hurt everybody. We've got Auron. He's got Vigilance, and whenever Auron attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on him, building him up. When you do, exile target creature defending player controls with power less than Aura's power until Auron leaves the battlefield. So you could keep on removing people's creatures until they remove Auron. We've got Yuffie, Materia Hunter. Ninjutsu, 1 in red. And when Yuffie enters, gain control of target non-creature artifact for as long as you control Yuffie. Then you may attach an equipment you control to Yuffie. And there is plenty of equipment to buff Yuffie right up. We've got Raban. Pay life, he's got Ward. And whenever Raban attacks, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to target attacking creature, thereby skipping the equip costs. We got the Fire Crystal. Red spells cost 1 less to cast. The most important part is creatures you control have haste, but we can also pay 4 and 2 red to create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Sack it at the beginning of the next end step. We've got Summon Brynhildr. We can exile the top card of our library. During any turn, we put a lore counter on this saga. We may play the card. And for the next 2, when you next cast a creature spell this turn, it gains haste, so we can start attacking right away. We got Red 13, Proud Warrior. Vigilance, Trample. Other modified creatures you control have Vigilance and Trample, which they hopefully will be with +1 counters and equipment. When Red X enters, return target aura or equipment card from your grave to your hand. We've got Summon Fat Chocobo. So it creates a 2/2 green bird creature token. But we're more into the chapters 2, 3, and 4, where creatures you control gain trample till end of turn. We've got Cloud, Midgar Mercenary. When Cloud enters, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So some tutoring there. As long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Double our value. We got Gilgamesh, Weapons Collector. Bit expensive, 5 in red. And when he enters, you may search your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Whenever Gilgamesh attacks for the first time each turn, untap it, and all samurai you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Really, there's only 1 samurai other than him in this deck, and that's a summon. But still, extra combat steps. We've got the Genji Glove. Equipped creature has double strike. There's some more damage for you. Whenever equipped creature attacks, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap it. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase, so we get even more combat steps. We get Cypher. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike till end of turn. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may cast a target instant or sorcery card with mana value 3 or less from your grave without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into the grave, though, exile it. So you can take advantage of some of those instants and sorceries like Yuna's Whistle and whatnot, buff your creatures. We have Chocobo Knights. Whenever you attack, creatures you control with counters on them gain double strike till end of turn. And we've got Hugo. Whenever he enters or attacks, target creature you control gains double strike and lifelink till end of turn. Oh, and we've got Lightning, Army of 1. So first strike, trample, and lifelink. Whenever Lightning deals combat damage to a player until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or permanent that player controls, it deals double that damage instead. So you can really put the hurt on with Lightning, especially if you buffer up. A few more ways to get that damage through. We've got the Wind Crystal. So white spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. So if you pay 4 and 2 white and tap it though, creatures you control gain flying and lifelink till end of turn. Lifelink is nice, the flying is even better. So you could try to evade and get that damage through. We've got Aerith Rescue Mission, another sorcery here. Choose one. You could create 3 colorless hero creature tokens, which you probably will not do. You'll probably tap up to 3 target creatures and put a stun counter on one of them. That way we can try to get through with some damage. We've got Ride Down. Destroy target blocking creature. Creatures that were blocked by that creature this combat gain trample till end of turn. That could be pretty devastating. Blessing of the Oracle or Chroma's Will. Choose one. If you control your commander, you could choose both. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn. And creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from each color until end of turn. It's a good finisher. We've got Ishgard, but we're using Faith and Grief to return up to 2 target artifact and or enchantment cards from your grave to your hand. More likely going for the artifacts. Got Rydia's Return. So creatures you control get +3/+3 till end of turn and return up to 2 target permanent cards from your grave to your hand. So you've got options there, either buffing up or returning things. We've got Edgar, Master Machinist. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an artifact spell from your graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters tapped. But that's okay. It's a good way to get back some artifacts. And whenever Edgar attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Everybody, at least you're buffing up Edgar. So we do have a little bit of removal here. We've got Airship Crash. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. It's nice to have the options of the artifact and enchantment. Here's our other samurai, Summon Yojimbo. So we can exile target artifact, enchantment, or tapped creature an opponent controls. Again, getting rid of an enchantment or artifact. 2 other chapters. Until your next turn, creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each of those creatures. And for the last one, we create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of opponents who control a creature with power 4 or greater. We've got Bahamut. Destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent for the first 2 chapters. Then we get to draw 2 cards. And then this creature deals damage equal to the total mana value of other permanents you control to each opponent. Could potentially also be a good finisher. We've got Thrum of the Vestige, or Lightning Bolt. It deals 3 damage to any target. You can hopefully remove something there. We've got Cloud, Limit Break. So we can pay 1 and a white to destroy target tapped creature, or we could pay an extra 1 to destroy any number of target tapped creatures with different controllers. Or we can do the Omni Stash, pay an extra 3 and a white to destroy all tapped creatures, as well as Ultima, just a board wipe. Destroy all artifacts and creatures, and then end the turn. So let's look at other ways to protect ourselves. We have Crystal Fragments. So equipped creature gets +1/+1, a little buff. But if you pay 5 and 2 white, you exile the equipment, then return it, transformed. And we have Summon Alexander. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to creatures you control this turn. On the 3rd chapter, you tap all creatures your opponents control and try to swing for lethal. We've got Gata and Luzu. It's got Flash. When it enters, choose target creature you control. If damage would be dealt to that creature this turn, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on it. So protection and a buff. We've also got Moogle's Valor. For each creature you control, create a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. And then creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. To go with creating all these Moogles, we also have Good King Mog, the 12th. Create 2 1/2 white Moogle creature tokens with lifelink. So again, we're getting more lifelink. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, create a token that's a copy of a non-saga token you control. And for the last chapter, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on each other Moogle you control. If you do end up going for the board wipes for whatever reason, hopefully you have one of these 2 spells in hand. Ultimate Magic Holy. Permanents you control gain indestructible till end of turn. If the spell was cast from exile, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. So you can protect all your things, destroy everybody else's. As well as Restoration Magic. It's tiered, so target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. Or target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible till end of turn, you gain 3 life. But if you pay 3 and a white on top of the white that you pay, permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible till end of turn, you gain 6 life. So if you're able to afford it, you can cast that with the board wipe, and it'll be a one-sided board wipe. We got a little bit of card draw here. We have Commune with Beavers. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact, creature, or land from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. So it could be card draw, ramp. We got the GF Ifrit. You may, for the first 2 chapters, discard a card, and if you do, draw a card. And then for the last 2 chapters, you add a mana, red mana. We have Secret Rendezvous. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. We have Cloud, Ex-Soldier. It's got haste. When Cloud enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to it. Whenever Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then if Cloud has power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. So value all around. We've got the Buster Sword. Equipped creature gets +3/+2, and whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying its mana cost. And we've also got Summoning Materia. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 for a little buff, has vigilance, and you can tap it for a mana. Most likely won't do that, but the option's there. Summoner's Grimoire. It's got job select, but equipped creature is a shaman in addition to its other types, and it has whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If that card is an enchantment card, it enters tapped and attacking. And the last cards in this deck, we've got Freya Crescent. On your turn is flying. You can tap for red mana, but you can only spend it to cast an equipment spell or activate an equip ability. We've got a Realm Reborn, so other permanents you control have tap it to add 1 mana of any color. You can even tap the equipment that's attached to your creatures, gain mana from it. And we have Rydia, Summoner of Mist, because we've got some of these summons in there. Whenever a land you control enters, you can discard a card. If you do, draw a card. But more importantly, you get double the value out of the summons by paying X, tapping her, return target saga card with a mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Gains haste till end of turn. And we've got Garnet, Princess of Alexandria. She's got lifelink. Whenever she attacks, you may remove a lore counter from each of any number of sagas you control, thereby using the same saga chapters over and over again, and put a +1/+1 counter on her for each lore counter removed this way. Super awesome with sagas. And that was the Tifa deck, Martial Artist. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gave some people some ideas. And thank you.